Motivation House, yes, that is my channel. Thank you for watching it. You are the one I have been waiting for. And you are right to be on my channel. Look, listen, don't judge from my video, but listen to the motivation that I give to you. Are you confused? Let's just start right now. Prepare your focus, prepare your coffee, and prepare everything that you think is important.
Loneliness is a universal human emotion that we all experience at some point in our lives. It can be triggered by different situations, such as eating alone, moving to a new place, or feeling ignored by others. However, loneliness has become more prevalent and persistent in recent years, affecting millions of people worldwide. It's ironic how we live in the most connected era ever, yet many of us feel isolated and disconnected. Loneliness is not the same as being alone. Some people enjoy solitude and find it peaceful, while others feel unhappy even in a crowd. Loneliness is subjective and personal, and it does not depend on social skills. Anyone can feel lonely, regardless of how popular or outgoing they are. However, loneliness is not a new phenomenon, but it has been exacerbated by several factors, such as the post-pandemic situation, the rise of social media, and the lack of face-to-face interaction. These factors, among others, have contributed to a growing sense of alienation and detachment in many individuals. Coping with these feelings can be difficult if we don't have the resources to deal with them. Fortunately, there are ways to overcome loneliness and find inner peace. Let's explore them now. Before we dive into philosophy, it's important to mention that if you're feeling lonely, you probably need to find good people to connect with. People who are kind, respectful, supportive, and share your interests and values. We know that finding these people can be challenging for some people more than others, and our personalities play a role here. But the best way to address deep feelings of loneliness is to find your tribe. Not just anyone, but people who make you feel seen and heard. The second best thing you can do is to learn to be comfortable alone. Learning to deal with loneliness is something that varies from person to person. Loneliness is a common emotion that affects everyone at some point in their lives, regardless of their background, status, or situation. It is not simply the lack of company, but a feeling of disconnection from ourselves and others, often without a clear reason. It can make us feel isolated, alienated, and out of place, even when we are surrounded by people and activities. It can sneak into our minds and fill us with a sense of emptiness that is hard to fill with people or things. This is what we will explore in this video: how to cope with loneliness and find peace in our own company. We are not alone in feeling lonely. Whether you are a CEO in a corner office or a janitor in a hallway, a famous movie star or a fervent fan, an elderly widow or an excluded teenager, you have probably experienced loneliness at some point in your life. You may have felt like an outsider, watching a world where everyone else seems to belong, while you feel out of sync and out of touch. You may have felt the pain of loneliness in the gaps of conversations and the spaces between laughter. But there is a way to deal with loneliness that does not involve escaping from it or ignoring it. There is a philosophy that can help us understand and navigate this complex emotion more effectively: Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient Greek school of thought that teaches us how to live wisely and virtuously in any situation. Stoicism does not offer a magic cure for loneliness, but it provides tools to help us face it, diminish it, or even use it as an opportunity for self-improvement. In this video, we will delve into the Stoic approach to loneliness, drawing from the wisdom of ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca. We will learn how to apply their teachings in our own day-to-day experiences and fortify our minds against the negative impact of loneliness. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to receive more content like this. Let's begin our journey into Stoicism and loneliness. The human experience is a shared one. Despite the fact that loneliness can make us feel isolated, it's paradoxical that loneliness can unite us, but we all know what it feels like to be lonely. This shared understanding can form a thread of empathy that connects people. With this in mind, what can we do about it? The Stoics believed that wisdom was one of the fundamental virtues for leading a good life. Wisdom is an attribute that we can cultivate, and it has two parts. The first part of wisdom is the ability to see the world around us clearly. We need to set aside our biases, judgments, and preconceptions and look at the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. The essence of wisdom, according to Socrates, is to have a clear vision of the truth. To achieve this, we need to remove any obstacles that cloud our perception, such as our biases and preconceptions. The next step is to apply this knowledge in our daily lives, making rational and informed decisions based on the facts and resources we have. This is how wisdom can help us cope with loneliness. It requires us to do some inner work on ourselves, following this virtue. You need to confront the reality of who you are, what kind of person you are, and see if you are happy with what you discover. Are you comfortable with yourself and enjoy your own company? If not, you will struggle to be at ease when you are alone. You cannot expect others to solve this problem for you. You need to look inside and find your own solutions. It is important to note that this is not an exercise in self-criticism or self-punishment for your past. You need to be honest with yourself, but also compassionate and understanding. Ultimately, it is about self-improvement, not guilt, regret, or self-hatred. I practice this activity quite often and never blame others, make excuses, or mistreat myself for things I regret. I accept them as part of my reality. I understand that the past me did not have the knowledge I have today, and that I have learned over time. I try to think that people are constantly evolving, and I seek better ways for my current self to grow. In this self-analysis, I want to show you something important about how we talk to ourselves. If you are always harsh and critical with yourself, you will feel bad about who you are or who you were. You will blame yourself for everything and feel guilty, regretful, angry, sad, or ashamed. You will not enjoy being alone with yourself. You will not be a good friend to yourself. Who would you rather spend time with? Someone who insults, accuses, yells, and hates you, or someone who supports, inspires, guides, and forgives you? You need to be that second person for yourself. The Stoics teach us how to live well by focusing on what we can control and accepting what we can't. We can only control our own thoughts and actions. We can't control other people's behavior.